After nearly 2 years of dogged reporting in our investigation, the water bills draining Houstonians, the city of Houston has made some big changes.
So this morning, investigative reporter Amy Davis is taking us back, following up with the very first water customer we met on this journey and find out how he's doing 18 months later. Amy?
Yeah, we're always thinking, hey, let's look ahead. But if you've been following along, a lot has happened with the water department this year alone. And there wasn't much action when we first started pushing for change in 2022. So we wanted to check in on our neighbor who started raising red flags about his bills years ago.
To wash my dishes, I just turn it on and get hot and cold water.
Today, 69-year-old Edward Williams has water. His bills prove he uses it sparingly, about 2,000 gallons every month.
It's just me and I don't bathe 15 times a day. And I ain't jumping off a springboard into a pool.
But still, Williams' monthly bills are more than $100 because instead of wiping out his inaccurate bill back in 2022, the water department put him on a payment plan to pay down more than $3,000 he still doesn't think he owes. Take a look. While he only uses about $36 of water a month, after his $75 payment arrangement, he owes $111, and he'll be paying these charges, tripling his bill for 2 more years.
I'm looking at the news, different portion of it, where they knocking everybody else down, and I'm wondering, why is mine still $3,000? And I'm the first one that came out with it. You know, I'm in city council fighting for this high bill, but I'm still paying the high bill.
We have seen major improvements since we first took Williams' water billing problems to the city. He lived in this small Acres Homes house for 4 years with no water after he says he couldn't pay the high bills anymore. And the city wouldn't listen when he told them there was no way he was using hundreds of dollars in water each month. Back in 2022, a public works spokesperson told me Mr. Williams didn't qualify for any adjustments of his more than $7,000 bill. And she recommended I help Williams apply for assistance with Baker Ripley. After months of back and forth, here's how they finally helped. The city says they reduced the more than $7,000 bill down to $3,000. They claim Williams used this amount before his water was disconnected in 2018. Since the city replaced the remote read device on his meter, it shows Williams rarely uses more than 2,000 gallons a month. So why, when they've wiped out the disputed bills for hundreds of others, is Williams still holding on to his disputed debt?
I'm paying $100 a month on the water bill. It's because of the payment plan. I had to pay my bill plus the plan. I had to do that in order to keep my water going.
So we did reach out to the water department this week to ask if they could give Williams' account another look through the lens of all of the changes and improvements we've seen this year. Williams had already paid down more than $1,000 on that payment plan, but we are happy to report the city has removed the remaining $1,900 from his account. So after years, he can finally start fresh and pay only for the water he is using every month. A clean slate, which is what a lot of people
No
have
refund on what he's paid so far.
No refund on what he's paid so far, and I think he is happy with this. I will say that what I think a lot of people could take away from this is I'm still getting the emails about like I had called for years and they didn't do this. If you haven't called this year and you had problems before that are lingering, that you know, an issue that has not been resolved, if you haven't called back, you definitely should, because they are being far more responsive right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep calling.
New day at the water department, maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amy.
Hopefully. Thanks. Well, coming up tomorrow, polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS. It affects 1 in every 10 women. Even that common, it is still difficult for doctors to diagnose. So coming up tomorrow morning, health reporter Haley Hernandez shares the symptoms that, if treated, might help you find some relief. Anthony.
Let me show you what's happening today. We'll start with a live shot out at the Med Center, and the temperatures are starting this morning with a few clouds out, 75 degrees, an easterly wind, but check this out, 8 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. So those cool 60s are gone, the 70s are back, lower to mid 70s for all of us. And so we've got the partly cloudy skies, and we have the storms coming in later today. So I've got a quiet morning through 10 o'clock, but look how those rain chances climb, especially as we head toward 10 o'clock tonight, as that line potentially bringing severe weather and flooding in. All the details you need to know about the timing and how much rain we'll receive coming up. Justina.
I do have some good news and bad news for you. So a live look at the 610 East Loop at Clinton. We're seeing all lanes still completely blocked off because of an earlier fatal crash. But what I will say is that I did see a tow truck pull in not long ago. So hopefully we get it cleared pretty soon. But until then, those northbound lanes, here's a look at them at the Port of Houston, still at a complete standstill. I can't stress enough, avoid the East Loop if you can this morning. Your drive times in the yellow coming in from Humble, Jersey Village, Cinco Ranch, Manville, and Clear Lake.
All right, Justina, thanks. Our officers work hard every day to keep our communities safe.
Coming up, how this Harris County canine took down a dangerous suspect and saved a life.
Plus, why parents are preparing to protest against HISD this morning as we check your morning news feed next. Now to your Thursday morning news feed. Pelican Island down in Galveston still closed to vehicle traffic this morning after a barge hit a bridge yesterday. Crews are out cleaning up an oil spill and engineers are expected to inspect that bridge. We will be following this throughout the day.
610 East Loop at Basin Drive shut down after a driver was killed when they crashed into a tree early this morning. Crews found the person in the burning car and could not save them. The entire northbound side of the 610 East Loop is shut down while they investigate.
Neighbors in Polk County are bracing for more rain and potential flooding. Trash is littering the front yards, waiting to be picked up. Walls and panels were torn out because they were damaged after the water came in during last week's flooding there. Now, Polk County Precinct 1 said that it did release more than 500,000 gallons of water a second, and all agencies are now monitoring the weather and the rainfall that's expected.
So in less than an hour, parents and community members plan to rally for the West Briar Middle School principal, who was apparently given an ultimatum to resign. It's just one of several protests at HISD schools we've covered recently. The district right now has a $450 million budget gap.
President Joe Biden has challenged Donald Trump to a pair of debates ahead of the November election. The first one is set for June 27th without a live audience. The second debate will be held on September 10th. Amy and Haley are joining us now with what's coming up at 7. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Thousands of people are expected to take over Bolivar Peninsula, Crystal Beach, and much of Galveston for Jeep Weekend. The annual event strains emergency services and has caused safety issues in the past few years.
Yeah, last year, more than 230 people were arrested, 40 people were hospitalized. So on KPRC 2 Plus now at 7, we are talking with the Galveston County Sheriff's Office because they're going to tell us what their safety plan looks like and what you need to know if you live anywhere near that area or are planning on visiting. Maybe don't.
Another wild weekend down there.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. Oh, that's a good boy. That is a good. Who wants a sausage? Big takedown for the Harris County Sheriff's Office Canine Officer Rex. Officer Rex called to assist with a kidnapping call. Vehicle pulled over on the Beltway at West Belfort, Southwest Houston, Tuesday. Canine Rex was sent in, and those suspects quickly surrendered. The victim was not hurt, so we want to show you Rex's picture.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a smile there.
No, right?
Good boy.
Job well done.
Let me show you what's going on with our weather. We'll start with the flood potential for today. And you never like to see the bullseye right here in Southeast Texas. The highest likelihood, all of the energy is really focused from Dallas into Southeast Texas and parts of Louisiana. And so this is the issue that we find ourselves in today. So let's get the timing of what you can expect with our future track. The storms are up to the north right now. At lunchtime, things are still pretty quiet here in the Houston area. A few showers are developing off to the west of us, but it's really at 3 o'clock this afternoon that we start to track the stronger thunderstorms from Brenham all the way off to the northwest. These can include hail, severe weather, as well as some flooding, because from 3 to 6 o'clock in 3 hours time, it really hasn't moved a whole lot. And again, you look at the placement, this is north of I-10 where you're getting the heaviest rain and possibly an inconvenient ride home from work with maybe a few practices getting canceled later on today. Now at 10 o'clock tonight, that's when it looks like the main line is moving through the Houston area. So that's our highest likelihood to get severe weather and also get flooding. And so that's good timing for us. Most of us are inside at this time, and then it moves off along the coastline. But we're not done with it just yet. We've got more rain possible early Friday morning. It looks like a lot of this is going to be south of I-10, maybe not all of it, but you do see a heavier rain coming in Friday afternoon in this area, which is a little different than what we've seen up to the north recently. And by the time we get to Friday night, all of the rain is moving out of here. But the big concern are the rain amounts. The purple color you're seeing here, that's 6 inches of rain plus. In general, what you have, especially where you have the flood watch, is 1 to 3 inches, but it's not out of the question to see 5 to 7 inches potentially as we head toward the evening time. On top of that, we have a severe weather threat for tornadoes. Potentially, it's a higher threat now from Houston up to the north, and so that's possible, as well as hail. The hail threat is really off here, at least a greater threat to get golf ball size hail off to the northwest, maybe some pea size hail here in the Houston area, and the wind risk also north of I-10, but all of us have this, and so we're going to be tracking severe weather, and we may not be done with that on Friday. Even though it's a low threat, we have a flash flood risk for pretty much all of Southeast Texas on Friday, and a severe weather risk on Friday as these final storms move on through. But the highest likelihood of seeing flooding is going to be honestly today. And so what you've got are the storms today, a chance for tomorrow. This weekend, we start to dry out, much more stable weather pattern, but it's more of a summer pattern. It's hot and humid starting on Sunday. Justine.
We've still got this long-lasting closure because of a fatal crash on the 610 East Loop that happened after 3 a.m. this morning. So the 610 East Loop heading northbound after Clinton is where that crash happened, but the entire East Loop itself completely blocked off heading northbound. You can take 90 if you want, but if you don't, you will be sitting in this standstill. This is not our only problem this morning, so we'll head towards the north side. So Conroe, if you're coming inbound on the North Freeway, southbound at FM 1488, traffic moving about 15 miles per hour because of a car fire in that area. After you get past it, things look a lot better. We also have a crash about 30 minutes from there. Spur 149 southbound at FM 1488. Those left and right lanes are blocked off because of that crash, so pack your patience, especially if you're coming in from the north side. Take a look at your drive times this morning and brace yourselves.
All right, great advice, Justina. Thanks. After being dormant for the first half of the season, the Astros getting ready to sweep the team out of Minute Maid.
Yeah, I mean, it's the A's, but it still counts. Highlights coming up next.
Well, big news involving our Houston Texans and Astros this morning that has fans of both teams fired up. We begin with the Astros and another big win.
Yeah, they've won 6 of their last 7, which is nice. The Astros got to go on bottom of the first. Kyle Tucker, a little double to right. Throwing error from the A's right there. It brings in Jose Altuve. 1-0 Astros. Fromber, nice on the mound, almost untouchable last night. 7 shutout innings, 2 hits, struck out 8 along the way. Astros win it 3-0. They can sweep tonight. Christian Javier pitches 7-10 tonight.
All right, now to the Texans, who will get to sport their new uniforms in front of a national audience. They have 6 games that will be nationally televised.
Let's break them down. Week 2, September 15th, right here on KPRC2. Sunday night football. And is that the Bengals? I can't see this far across them. We're not, did I say that already? Week 9, I got to walk over here. Week 9, Halloween. At the Jets, that's on Prime Video Thursday night. Week 10 against the Lions, that's also NBC, KPRC2. That's a Battle Red home game. Week 11, a big one, Cowboys, Monday Night Football.
Wow.
And then week 16, Kansas City Chiefs, that's December 21st, also on NBC. And then the Christmas game, this was the Netflix game. If you have a Netflix subscription, you get to play Baltimore on Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Maybe Taylor will be at the Kansas City Chiefs game. We'll see, Anthony.
It'd be better if that game was here, because then she could be here. That would be.
Then she definitely wouldn't come.
Here's what's going on with our weather. Flash flood risk as high as it can go on a scale of 1 to 4. It's at a 4 from Lufkin all the way into Lake Livingston, as you can see. But we do have a flood risk through the woodlands all the way for the rest of southeast Texas as we move throughout the rest of the day. And that is the greatest threat that we do have. And we'll be tracking it all day for you.
If you're coming in from Conroe this morning, we now have a better picture of what that fire scene looks like. So the North Freeway at FM 1488 heading southbound, very congested because of an earlier car fire in that area. We still got emergency crews on scene, so expect to see that slow down as you come in those southbound lanes. It looks like the 610 East Loop is clearing up this morning. We still see all lanes completely shut down, but it looks like traffic is being rerouted in that area. Still expect jam-packed delays, though, if you are heading in.
Yeah, avoid that mess. All right, Justina, thanks. Just before 7. Are you craving a gyro or a hito? Well, Houston Greek Fest kicks off today, runs through Saturday at the St. Basil Great Greek Orthodox Church. Get out there. Amy and Haley are coming up next on The Plus.
Welcome to KPRC 2 Plus now at 7. We're starting with a look at the Pelican Island Bridge. Yesterday, a barge hit the bridge, causing an oil spill and forcing officials to close off that bridge that you're looking at now because they don't know the integrity of it. As you see, our TJ Parker is there now, and in just a few minutes, he'll tell us about the investigation and how difficult it's been for people who live on the island.
Yeah, and we want to take a look at our KPRC2 storm tracker radar. It is quiet this morning, but we are expecting to see some thunderstorms move in. Meteorologist Anthony Yanez is tracking how soon we can expect to see those showers coming into the Houston area.
And with that rain, residents in Polk County are bracing for potential flooding. People who live there are telling us that another release from the dam would just be devastating.
So KPRC's Rochelle Turner is at Holiday Lake Estates. That is in Goodrich. You're there right now. I mean, you can see, Rochelle, all of the stuff that people cleaned out of their homes already. I mean, what are you hearing and seeing there? I can imagine they're very worried.
Yes, good morning, Amy. Well, first off, these mosquitoes are vicious, but I do want to show you this pile of trash that you referred to. You can see wheelchairs and totes and crates. There's chairs, there's furniture out here. This is almost like PTSD for so many residents because they're still trying to recover from the heavy storms from last week. Trash is everywhere along many roads in this subdivision. Now, I want to show you some video from our photojournalist, Matt Janes. He was out here yesterday and walls and panels were gutted out because they were too damaged after the water receded. One man had 5 feet of water inside his home, so he is staying down the street at a friend's house, but he is worried it will flood with this afternoon's storm. Some residents say they haven't gotten any help from county and state leaders.
No help. I mean, we don't even have the people around here helping out. I mean, we're doing it all on our own, trying to get this place back, going.
Do they have flood insurance here or no?
No. When we purchased the house, they didn't even disclose that, it flooded until after the fact.
And Polk County Precinct 1 said they are currently releasing over 526,000 gallons of water per second, and all agencies are monitoring the situation. Of course, we're going to stay out here and continue to track the storms. It's so very important to be weather aware. You can download our free Storm Tracker app. Plus, we're going to be providing updates on our website throughout the day at clicktohouston.com. Reporting live in Polk County, I'm Rochelle Turner, KPRC 2 News.
All right, Rochelle, thank you so much for that update. Now we're going to bring in Anthony to this conversation. Anthony, more rain would be really bad for that area.
And the problem is that area is going to get the heaviest rain. And so that area, even if it comes to the north, it's all moving downstream. And so that's going to be the issue as we move throughout the afternoon into tonight. This morning, everything is nice and quiet. You can see our live Storm Tracker 2 radar. But the concern is we have a flash flood watch. It's in effect. Starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon, goes through 7 o'clock Friday morning. 1 to 3 inches is possible in this green shaded area. 5 to 7, though, is possible in a few isolated areas, and that's going to be the big concern because it just really can't handle that amount. And when that area moves down through, for example, Lake Livingston, the Trinity River, that can really create more problems. And so that's what we're watching. The other issue is it looks like this is a forecast that is going to happen. When you look at the flash flood risk, you have 4 levels here. On a scale of 1 to 4, you're at a high. You're at that 4 out of 4. Really, as you head toward Lake Livingston all the way through Lufkin. So that area is expected to flood. But you also have a high chance from College Station through Conroe and the Woodlands, and then another chance from Houston all the way off to the south. So all of us have a chance at least street flooding, but it can be even more than that, especially getting in some to river flooding as we move throughout the rest of the day. And so that's what we're tracking. Otherwise, this morning, temperatures in the lower to mid 70s. The cool starts are gone. The 60s are out of here. And as far as what we're going to see throughout today and tomorrow, we've got more rain that's going to be moving in. So I'm going to walk you through the forecast of the timing of what we can expect, how much rain is expected, and also the severe weather threats for today and tomorrow coming up.
And this has been a problem all morning. So an earlier morning fatal crash just after 3 a.m. Causing all lanes of the 610 East Loop to be shut down at Clinton. Traffic right now being rerouted in that area. But as you can see, it is completely deserted at this part of the 610 East Loop. If we take a look from the Port of Houston, this is before you even get there. Traffic at a complete standstill this morning. So my advice to you is to avoid the East Loop. Those delays stretching behind that shutdown. You can always take 90, so that's Wayside Drive. If you're familiar with that in that area, it'll still get you to I-10, or you can even head back towards 610, the North Loop, if you need to. When it comes to your drive times, though, things are starting to shape up. Not too bad, but we still got a lot of slow time. So Humboldt, 25 minutes if you are coming in from Channelview, slow at 19 minutes, and then Clear Lake, you got about a 35-minute commute on the Gulf Freeway with stop-and-go traffic inside of the loop.
All right, thanks, Justina. Now, the investigation continues this morning on the Pelican Island Bridge after a barge carrying 30,000 barrels of vacuum gas oil hit the causeway early yesterday, spilling oil into the bay.
Yeah, so right now the bridge is closed except for people who can walk across. We want to get out to TJ Parker, who is live near the bridge this morning with where this investigation stands. I mean, it looks like all of that mess, the barge is still in the water, right?
Yeah, that is our understanding. And guys, we did just see a few people drive across the bridge here one by one. So it looks like they are allowing some folks off the island as well as foot traffic, as you had mentioned. But in order, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, including oil has to be cleaned up and that barge removed before divers can inspect the bridge pilings and determine its structural integrity. No timeline yet for that. As you can imagine, this has been quite a headache for people who live here or here on Pelican Island trying to come and go. People who live here and work here. Vehicle traffic backed up as hundreds who were estimated to have been on the island tried leaving. And the other big thing we're talking about is this spill response. The Texas General Land Office, who is leading this, says their first priority is, of course, the safety of the public and responders. They then will work with response partners to control the source, contain, and recover the spilled material. It is estimated that up to 5,000 gallons leaked, forcing a 6.5-mile closure of the Gulf Intercoastal Waterway. And as I mentioned, this has been a headache for people, with some waiting more than 5 hours to get off the island, while others couldn't even get there.
I'm just going to have to hope that the bridge reopens soon. I have pets over there and all kinds of stuff that I kind of need to get.
I'm concerned, like, the environmental impacts of the oil spill. I'm really hoping that they can get that cleaned up soon, because that's not going to be good for the fish or the birds.
All right, so as far as what's leaking, it's called vacuum gas oil, which is basically processed crude oil. Whatever spill has occurred can be treated like a crude oil spill, and there are standard procedures to control it. The oil may be harmful, though, if it is swallowed or enters airways. Back out here live, several agencies are again working this. The Texas General Land Office, they are the lead on this oil spill response. Federal and state crews are still assessing how much damage the oil spill may have caused. The U.S. Coast Guard and state officials now investigating reports of pollution. But again, the full extent of the damage has not yet been assessed. We have also tried getting hold of the barge company, and we are still waiting to hear back from them, guys. But again, we have seen some folks being able to get off the island one by one, which is what we kind of heard from city officials yesterday, that they were going to allow that as well as foot traffic. But the majority of traffic here onto the island is closed for the time being.
TJ, I always get my islands and areas in Galveston, the beaches, confused. But so can you give us an idea of what's on Pelican Island? How many people live there? Is there a lot of people going back and forth?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is Texas A&M, their Galveston campus is on this island. So if you're familiar with this island, that's one of the big places that you know is here. Also, about 9,000 people live on this island as well. So you can imagine that this is causing quite the backup for people who may still be attending a campus here, as well as who live on this island as well.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, TJ.
And we want to take a look from the sky right now. We have our chopper over that Pelican Island bridge right now. You're looking down into the water at the top of this barge. You see some, I think, tugboats right there next to it, or those that are going to try to hopefully help remove some of that. As TJ was saying,
they got to go in and investigate now how much it's actually polluting, and then get those pollutants out of the water.
Yes, this is what it looks like right now. As he said, they're letting vehicles. He saw them let vehicles through sort of one at a time. But we will stay on top of this and monitor this situation. We'll be right back.
I'm Sabine Marcellus with your consumer headlines. The makers of the widely popular weight loss drug Ozempic are planning to study an additional effect of the drug, a lessened desire to drink alcohol. Thousands of people taking Ozempic and similar drugs in the same classification are said to have reported this phenomenon. Novo Nordisk will now take a closer look at the effects of semaglutide, an active ingredient in Ozempic and other medicines, to see how it may decrease the urge to consume alcohol for those who take the drugs. Their clinical trial to study alcohol-related liver disease kicks off May 20th and will enroll around 240 participants. Visa is rolling out new technology innovations that could change the way you use your credit card in the future. One is called Visa Flexible Credential. It would allow customers to access multiple financial accounts through a single card, and it's already been launched in Asia. Another is Tap to Everything, which, along with letting people tap to pay using their mobile device, it would enable people to exchange electronic payments between each other by tapping their devices together. Plus, new Visa technology similar to Apple Pay will let customers use a biometric passkey to make purchases, such as a fingerprint or facial recognition. The new advancements will start to roll out later this year. Uber wants to make it cheaper for you to get a ride to the airport, concerts, or sporting events. It's launching Uber Shuttle, which will let users book up to 5 seats in a shuttle from a central location to an event or the airport for less than the cost of a regular Uber ride. Uber plans to partner with locally based shuttle companies for the service, and riders can book their space up to a week in advance. The shuttles will hold between 14 and 55 passengers, and customers will receive a QR code ticket to board. Uber Shuttle begins in select cities this summer, with plans to expand across the U.S. in the months ahead. After a mixed first quarter earnings report, McDonald's is announcing a $5 value meal deal to draw in customers this summer. The promotion will feature 4 menu items for $5: a McChicken or McDouble sandwich, 4-piece chicken nuggets, fries, and a drink. The fast food giant CEO says the $5 value meal will launch June 25th and is part of the company's plan to be, quote, laser focused on affordability to attract diners. But take note, the $5 value meal will be a limited time offer, so you've only got 1 month. I'm Sabine Marcellus with your consumer headlines on the KPRC2 Plus live stream.
Hey, we want to show you now our KPRC2 Storm Tracker weather radar. We are keeping a close eye on this because Anthony Yana says storms will be moving in today. He's going to join us in just a few minutes to tell us the timeline.
Here's your future track. Let's show you what we can expect as we move throughout the day. And so what we're going to see, things pretty quiet right now, and it'll stay that way all the way through noon with some showers off to the west of us. Things get going at 3 o'clock this afternoon. This is when you're going to see the incredibly strong thunderstorms begin to form in our northwestern cities. These are going to be pushing off to the east. So notice the general direction for that ride home from work. Inconvenient, possibly a few strong thunderstorms, but the heaviest rain with the potential for severe weather and flooding is up here to the north of us. It really isn't until 10 o'clock tonight that this line starts to move into the Houston area, the Beltway, and so this is our greatest chance of getting in severe weather and then also some flooding. And then the storms move off to the south after that, and they stay there all the way through Friday morning. The other thing that we're watching for Friday, so we may see more storms form, especially south of I-10. And this is an area that really hasn't received a whole lot of rain over the past month. So they need it. But again, these can be strong and they have a small chance to bring in some flooding. Otherwise, once we get to Saturday, all the storms are going to be moving out of here. But the big concern, of course, are the rain amounts. The purple color area that you're seeing here, that's 6 inches plus of rain. Yesterday, it was right here in Livingston and Huntsville, so it really hasn't moved in 24 hours as far as the model forecast. It's really showing the most likely place we're going to see the heaviest rain and the flooding is up here in our northern areas. And these are the areas, as I mentioned yesterday, have received 20 to 30 inches of rain over the past month. The Houston area and in general for the rest of us, especially where we have the flood watch, going to see 1 to 3 inches of rain. For the severe weather threats, what we have is a higher threat now of getting in tornadoes. It was a low threat yesterday. And then when you look at the hail risk, the larger hail, the potential is a little farther off to the northwest. Pea-sized hail possible here in the Houston area, but there's also a wind risk as we move throughout the day today into tonight. So we just need to be aware. Severe weather and flooding is possible.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. Hey, this weekend, thousands of people are expected to take over Bolivar Peninsula, Crystal Beach, and much of Galveston for Jeep Weekend.
Yeah, that's the unofficial annual event that began as a gathering for Jeeps only, but it's changed over the last few years as the event increasingly drew crowds who were not Jeep enthusiasts.
Yeah, last year, Galveston County reported more than 230 people were arrested. 40 were hospitalized during Jeep Weekend, and in previous years, there have even been deaths. So we wanted to talk to Major Ray Nolan. He's with the Galveston County Sheriff's Office. I know this has to be a really chaotic weekend for you guys. How do you even prepare for this, or can you?
Yeah, the participation in this event just keeps getting more and more enormous. We started preparations this year in February, which was earlier than we've ever started before, just in preparation of the unknown numbers that increasingly come to this event. So, you know, we've got 28 miles of beach, but this event particularly stays within about a 5 or 6 mile area length of the beach. And we had last year, we estimated about 100,000 people.
Wow.
And like you said, on Saturday last year alone, we arrested probably close to 200 people. So this year, you know, we're probably going to have Looks like between 150 and 170 officers on the beach at any one time on Saturday. The event goes Thursday through Sunday, but Saturday's the big day for us. So we're going to have a lot of officers out there. We're going to have a very low tolerance for any disorderly or criminal activity, and if you're caught engaging in any of that, you will be arrested and you will be transported to the county jail. We want everybody to come, have a good time, but we want everybody to stay safe and respectful of one another's boundaries.
Yeah, and so it sounds like that you are bringing in extra patrols for the weekend, which is a good thing to help keep people safe. Are there any types of new safety measures that you're enforcing for this weekend only?
We're putting more light towers down on the beach. We've increased the number of officers. Our emergency services district is ramped up. We're going to have nurses and physicians on site in a mobile hospital tent over there. We're doing as much as we can. We're working on some traffic routing plans. We're going to see how those work. So every year, we meet after this event and we try to identify things that went well and things that didn't go so well and try to make adjustments so we can keep everybody safe.
Yeah, we called it an unofficial event, and I think what we mean by that is it's not like it's sanctioned, it's not like it's an event thrown by the city or necessarily any particular organization. People just sort of spread the word online. But not to ask you a common sense question, but tell us about the problems, like the kinds of things you're seeing and what people are being arrested for.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, that is a challenge for us because this event is not sponsored by any group. It's not organized. It's just, through word of mouth, social media. It's just gained momentum and attention over the years. And it started out as a Jeep enthusiast weekend, but as things got a little bit more ominous when, there was more injuries and arrests, the Jeep enthusiasts kind of disassociated themselves with this event, and now it's just a lot of individuals that come down to go to the beach and have a good time. The things that we see at the beach that usually get people in trouble is overindulging in alcohol, thinking that the beach is going to be lawless and they can get away with whatever they want to. But again, we're going to have a very low tolerance. It's not lawless, and you'll see a tremendous law enforcement presence at this event. And again, if you're engaging or you plan to engage in any kind of unsavory activity that could cause someone to get injured or hurt, plan on going to jail.
Yeah.
Major Nolan, I know we're going to have to wrap you up really soon. We're running out of time. But really quickly, if you own a business down there or you're planning to visit a business, anything that you have to say about local businesses in the area?
Yeah, I know the local businesses met last year after the Jeep Weekend event, and, they expressed some concerns of, some of the challenges that they had with some of the Jeep Weekend participants. And so some of them have decided to, alter their schedules. That's nothing that was encouraged or endorsed by the sheriff's office. That was their decisions, just based on their experiences and whether or not they felt like that was good for their business going forward. So we understand their decisions. We support their decisions. But there are still some businesses over there that are going to be open.
All right, Major Ray Nolan. So it sounds like the takeaway is if you're going for Jeep Weekend, don't be stupid, and if you're not going for Jeep Weekend, don't go. Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. All right, and now we're going to head to a quick break, but look at that sunrise. It's looking nice outside.
This is a KPRC2 News update.
Good morning. I'm Haley Hernandez.
And I'm Amy Davis with this update on the morning's top stories on KPRC2 and the KPRC2 Plus live stream.
The bridge from Galveston to Pelican Island is still blocked off this morning after a barge hit the bridge yesterday. Sky 2 is live now there, as you can see, over that bridge. We have seen a few cars, one at a time, allowed through. Crews are on scene working to clean up an oil spill, and we're told that engineers still need to do more inspections on the bridge.
Well, a deadly accident on the East Loop has caused a big traffic problem this morning. A car left the road and crashed into a tree near Basin Drive. That driver died. The northbound lanes have been closed since 3 a.m. Justina is going to have an update for us coming up.
Parents and community members are rallying right now behind the West Briar Middle School principal who was given an ultimatum to resign from HISD. It's just one of several protests at HISD schools that we've covered recently. The school district currently has a $450 million budget gap.
And now here's Anthony with a look at our forecast for today.
We're starting with our live Storm Tracker 2 radar. All the rain right now is farther in North Texas, so things are pretty quiet for us, but we do have a flood watch that's in effect starting at 1 o'clock this afternoon, going through 7 o'clock on Friday. 1 to 3 inches of rain is expected in these green shaded areas, but 5 to 7 is possible in a couple of isolated spots, and those areas, of course, are up to the north of Houston. In fact, when you look at the flash flood risk for today, high from Lufkin all the way through Lake Livingston, and you even have a flood risk from College Station through the Woodlands and even to a lesser extent all the way through the Houston area. So this is something we're going to be watching and tracking for you as we head toward the afternoon and late tonight. Justina.
If you're coming in from Conroe this morning, expect to hit some delays. The North Freeway at FM 1488 heading southbound. We had a car fire on that right shoulder, so heavy traffic still trying to get around it. Earlier, the 610 East Loop at Clinton completely shut down, and it looks like traffic is still at a complete standstill in all main lanes, so avoid the East Loop if you can. As of right now, your drive time's not looking so good, especially if you're coming in from Deer Park and Clear Lake at 45 minutes in on the Gulf Freeway.
Ooh, moving in slow from there. Thanks, Justina. Approximately every 3 minutes, one person in the U.S. is diagnosed with leukemia, lymphoma, or myeloma.
Yeah, coming up on KPRC2 Plus now, we'll hear from a local couple, father diagnosed with one of these cancers who are working to find a cure. And if you're watching us on TV right now, switch over to the KPRC2 Plus live stream for more local news coming up next.
And if you're on the go, you can take us with you by downloading the KPRC2 Plus app. Welcome back to KPRC2 Plus now at 7. We're taking another look at our KPRC2 Storm Tracker weather radar. The thunderstorms are moving in this afternoon. Anthony Yanez is tracking them as they come.
And this morning, we're taking a closer look at one Houston man's battle with leukemia. Coming up, we're sharing his story and how he's working with a nonprofit to raise funds for cancer research and new treatments.
And another protest is happening against HISD right now. This is on the city's west side. Community members say the principal at West Briar Middle School was informed by HISD that she is among the educators that must resign.
And Brittany Jeffers is live outside of that middle school near Briar Forest and Eldridge Parkway with more on what is happening this morning. Brittany, it seems like we're seeing these demonstrations daily.
Yeah, Amy, this in fact is the third one for HISD that we've seen this week. We're actually walking behind some of the protesters right now who are making their way up along Briar Forest Drive. If you look behind me, you can see some of those signs, cars honking. They have been walking now for about 20 minutes or so, but they're slowly making their way over to the middle school. They say that they're doing this after receiving news that their principal, Dr. Michelin, would be forced to retire, be forced to leave. And so listen to them. This is their message this morning. I also have been speaking with several of the parents out here this morning. Michelle Jackson is one of the organizers out here this morning. Michelle, can you fill me in on why you wanted to be here, why you wanted to take part?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very important for us to, as parents, let the district know how we feel about all of these principals, teachers, and staff members who've been unjustly released from their duties, have had their contracts non-renewed, and have them be forced to reapply for lesser jobs. You know, these are our children's educations that we're talking about. It's extremely important for, you know, us to take a stand and make sure that our children are being educated the way that we feel is best. And, you know, Dr. Michelin is just one of many amazing principals and educators that have been removed from their positions, and we want to make sure that the district hears us and hears our pleas.
Michelle, do you feel like your voice is being heard? Do you feel like you're getting your message across?
Not yet, but we won't stop until we do feel like we are heard, and we will keep at this until we make some progress, no matter what that progress is. We want Dr. Michelin back, but if we can't get her back, we are going to keep being loud, and we are going to keep talking and protesting and doing whatever we can to fight for our educators and our staff members, because that's what we feel is right for our kids and our community.
Michelle, I appreciate your time. Thank you. Again, taking you out here where you can see we've got family members of students at the school out here. They're students. I spoke with some 6th graders out here earlier this morning who said that they wanted to be here. They wanted to be holding signs. You take a look at some of these signs out here. They say they are sending a message not only to the district, to HISD, but to Superintendent Miles out here this morning. Again, they are slowly making their way to the middle school this morning, where they plan to be out here for some time. But we're going to stay out here. Haley and Amy will be checking in with you all throughout the morning.
Brittany, you know, I can read on their signs, they're talking, you know, they're bringing in the controversy over librarians and custodians, but explain the ultimatum with the principals. Like, what's at stake here? You know, are they still being told they can meet with the board of managers, or they can resign, or can they take another job? What's exactly being proposed to them?
Well, so in this particular case, the way it has been explained to me, they say that the principal will be resigning, and they say they're just very frustrated with that. They don't want to see her leave. They've described Dr. Michelin as someone who is loved by the community, by someone who is well respected. So again, this is the third protest that we've seen against HISD this week.
All right. Thank you, Brittany Jeffers, for reporting this morning.